prohibition cannot be enforced for the simple reason that the majority of American people do not want it enforced and are resisting its enforcement. That being so, the orderly thing to do under our form of government is to abolish a law which cannot be enforced, a law which the people of the country do not want enforced.
Up right here.
As arrests skyrocketed, the convictions were no longer limited to minorities. Now most of the people serving time were white, middle-class American kids.
Why do you smoke marijuana?
It's really very simple. I smoke it because I enjoy it.
It doesn't worry you that you're breaking the law?
Sure, it worries me. I mean, it worries me because I don't want to get caught. I do not want to go to jail for something that I can consider a pleasure and harmless to both society and myself. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not hurting myself. Why should I be punished for it?
And you may see me tonight with a little smile. It don't cost very much, but it lasts a long while. Won't you please tell the man I didn't kill anyone? No, I'm just trying to have fun.
When Don Crow was convicted of selling marijuana to an undercover agent, there seemed reason for hope. It was his first offense, after all, and the amount had been small, less than 1 ounce. But the jury saw its duty. Sentence, 50 years in prison. For Crow, 25 years old, newly returned from Vietnam, it was a bitter pill.
I had the feeling that I was fighting for my country and for my fellow man. And it is kind of depressing to know that I should come back and be given 50 years for allegedly selling some a lid of marijuana.
This is the Purple Heart that he received the first time that he was wounded.
There is a mother's pride as Mrs. Crow recounts Don's military record, but it is hard for her. He loved his country, she says. He was a good boy.
Well, we were naturally so proud of him when he was over there, and when he came back and all this happened, well, of course, I've just been heartbroken, and I think it is a little severe penalty.
I don't think that a kid should have their entire future career blighted by having an arrest record for being caught in a room where marijuana was kept, or for smoking a joint of marijuana when they're a kid in college or a young kid. And that's exactly what happens.
Everyone here seems to emphasize the kids. How can you communicate with them when they got flowers in their ears where they can't hear, and hair down to their hip pockets?
The young person, other minority group members have a much greater chance of being arrested and are arrested. And if this continues, we're going to decimate the youthful population of America. That's exactly what's going to happen.
If any one of us has a kid who's arrested, there's going to be an arrest for a narcotic violation on his record for the rest of his life. He can't go in the Peace Corps, he can't teach school, he can't be a cop.
What's the difference? If he committed murder, he'd have an arrest record.
Fine, if he committed murder, he harmed someone.
Can any law be effective, especially a law dealing with marijuana, when there is so much controversy from so many eminent people?
No law can be effective that actually that tries to regulate or legislate private morality. You can't make homosexual laws effective. You can't make. Could you pass a law that says it's a crime to masturbate? You couldn't enforce it. There's laws on the book that say thou shalt not fornicate either, and you wouldn't go around arresting kids for fornicating.
I know the law, I would.
You don't even know it's against the law. You're a hell of a cop.
As a matter of fact, sex is illegal in most of America.
Everything's illegal in America. You know, it's illegal, immoral, or fattening. It's that simple.
I think we've come to somewhat of a conclusion here in that the law is not very effective.
No, it's not. How can it be effective when you have 10,000 kids in one city are being arrested in 1 year? The law is not effective.
As middle-class parents began asking, why is my kid in jail? More and more Americans began to feel that the problem was not marijuana, but marijuana laws. Support for reform of marijuana laws seemed to come from everywhere. Even federal officials agreed that harsh penalties were not working.
A conservative estimate of persons in the United States, both juvenile and adult, who have used marijuana at least once is about 8 million and may go as high as 12 million. Can you imagine what would happen to the law enforcement and correction system of this country if each of these 12 million people had been caught by a policeman when smoking his first marijuana cigarette? The first place in which legal reforms can be made is in the removal of mandatory minimum penalties in all cases of drug abuse.
Sensing the public's mood, Congress passed the Controlled Substances Act, which eliminated mandatory minimum sentences and reduced penalties for possession.
Is she dead?
Not yet. This picture was taken at 10 p.m. The girl lived until midnight. Any questions?
But I maintain the evidence against marijuana isn't in yet.
Well, sir, will you concede that it might be as harmful as alcohol?
Well, all right, but it's no worse.
No, sir, I hope not. Because according to U.S. government figures, between 5 and 6 million people in this country are physically and mentally sick as a result of their use of alcohol. If marijuana possesses only half the potential of alcohol for violence, criminality, accidents, and social degradation, do we need pot?